You know, I posted a video a few weeks ago called Marlin Microgroove Test. I was shocked. And that was the name of the video, by the way. And in that video, I used this Marlin Model 336 lever gun, 35 Remington. This one's from 1959, and it was a gift from my family this past Christmas. And I used it to shoot sub-MOA groups at 100 yards using both hand loads and factory ammo. And in that video, I promised that, and by the way, I was shocked at the results. And in that video, I promised that I would do a series on cast bullet performance in the Microgroove rifle. And so that's what we're here for today. And you may find yourself asking, why do I care about cast bullets? And I hope I can answer that question to your satisfaction. Stick around. Hi, George here, and welcome to Tales from Target Suite, where I'll share my perspective on guns and shooting, and we'll spend some time at the range, and every now and then we'll reconvene out in my shop back in Houston. We're here at the farm in Louisiana, where I'll build some fun projects, and we'll share an adventure or two that'll make even a grown man smile. And in case you have been living under a rock or in a cave, there is an ammo shortage going on, and a big one, and it's hard to get ammo. And so a lot of guys have turned to reloading just like me. I mean, I've been a reloader for a long time, but I have really doubled down on reloading because it increases my chances of having ammunition to shoot for the channel. And a lot of people have joined the fray, so to speak, of reloading, and so it's getting harder and harder to find bullets, to find powder, to find cases, and to find primers. Oh my goodness, the primers are really hard to find. And but back to the cast bullets. If you will embrace cast bullets for either for recreation or even for serious work, it just about doubles your chances of finding rounds to send down range. And so what we're going to do in today's video is we're going to take a look at the cast bullet performance in the Microgroove rifling, because some people say it just doesn't work. And so we're going to answer that question. And then at the end of the video, we're going to take one of those cast bullet loads, and we're going to take a vintage 30-30 Winchester, and we're going to send 2 rounds into my ballistics gel. And so I've been waiting a long time for a reason to break out that ballistics gel. And so we're going to do it today, and we're going to compare the 180 grain cast performance cast bullet with the 30-30 170 grain round nose bullet. And we'll just see if we can tell any difference between the performance, the terminal performance in the ballistics gel. So I hope you'll stick around at the end for that. It's going to be a first time for the channel to have ballistics gel. But the way this is going to work is I'm going to shoot 6 different hand loads. Yep, I got it right. I'm going to shoot 6 different hand loads, starting low and then working up to pretty hot hand loads. Some would say too hot, for at least as far as the cast bullets go. Not too hot for the rifle, but pretty high velocity for cast bullets. And we're going to see what kind of accuracy we get. And so I hope you'll stick with me through that. So let me get the GoPro turned on, and I'm also going to have big orange going here so that you can see the velocities as we shoot. And so let me go get that turned on, and we'll get shooting. Okay, so we'll we'll head back to the house, and I'll let that. I've got to tell you a little bit more information about the cast bullet issues, and then we'll come back down, as I said, and we'll shoot through the remaining groups pretty quick. But that was target number 1 with 34 grains. That's a pretty light load of powder. Well, 34 grains is a little bit light. 34 grains is a pretty light load for Varget powder and 35 Remington. But that's neither here nor there for this segment, because we want to talk just a little bit about cast bullets. And we can't do an in-depth series here. Just would take too much time. But I'll say this: conventional wisdom says that cast bullets need to be sized 1 to 2 thousandths bigger than the slug diameter of your microgroove barrel. And we're going to start off with a worst case scenario, because we're going to use a light bullet in the 35, the 180 grain bullet for 35 Remington is light, and these are sized at .358, which matches the slug diameter of this Marlin Microgroove rifle. So we're going to be shooting high velocities and bullets that are matched to the barrel, not oversized. And so in subsequent videos or video, I've got heavier bullets that are more appropriate for the 35 Remington. They're the 200 grain cast performance wide flat nose gas check bullet. The 200 grain Montana Bullet Works flat nose gas check, and a Hunter Supply 210 grain long flat nose gas check bullet. And so we'll do those bullets in subsequent videos. But today we're going to start with the worst case scenario and just see how it performs. So don't forget, we've got ballistic gel for the channel, the first time, and I'm so excited about this. And it's unfortunate it's going to be at the very end of what's going to be a little bit of a long video, but I hope you'll stick around, because I was surprised when I compared the 180 grain cast performance cast bullet with a 30-30 load with the 170 grain nozzle or partition bullet, and I was really surprised with what showed up in the ballistics gel. So I think you're going to want to stick around for that. So let's get back to the shooting. I'm going to skip some of the segments. We're not going to go through all 6 loads. It just would drag this thing out way too much. And so let's get started. Well, if things look a little bit different, it's because this is another day, and the reason it is because as I went through loads 1 through 5, the groups got higher and higher on the target, and so after group 5, I lowered the point of impact by 2 inches, and the impact was still up off of the target for a large part, and so I really wanted to reshoot that last segment. The results from yesterday's maximum load with group 6, with load 6, was very, very good. But I wanted you guys to be able to see it on the target better, and so I'm going to reshoot that, and then we'll wrap up. So let me go ahead and send these rounds downrange, and we'll start summing things up in anticipation of pulling out this ballistic gel, because we're going to do that here in just a minute, and I, for one, am excited. So I hope you'll stick around for that. So let me go down range and double check and make sure that we're on target, and then I'll shoot the second group at this maximum load. Okay, let's go down range because you guys have already seen the results of this reshoot of the maximum load, but I haven't. So let's go down range and see what it looks like. Well, I just wanted you to believe that we really do have some clear ballistic gel from Clear Ballistics, and we're going to be shooting that here in just a minute. But let's do our summary here real quick, and I just want to say right off the top that I'm pretty satisfied with the 180 grain bullet from Cast Performance, especially since it's not really ideally sized. As I said earlier, it's not ideally sized for the bore of this Marlin 336 because it has a slug, I slugged the bore, and it has a bore size of .358. And conventional wisdom says that you need a cast bullet that's 1 or 2 thousandths larger than the diameter of your microgroove barrel to get the best performance. And so we are right at the bore diameter, not a little bit above. And so still, let's look at the numbers, and I'll tell you right up front, if we average all of the shots that we took down range, we average at 1.89 inches. And that includes some of the lower numbers that are pretty large, and so we'll get to that in a minute. But our first group with our lightest load, 2.5 inches. Then our next lightest load, 1.75 inches. And then our next lightest load, and this one is significant, I'll tell you why in just a minute, is 1.7 inches. So I'll leave this one out, we'll talk about it. And then we're back up to, this one was 2.5 inches. And I'm maybe covering up that number. And then here is our next to the maximum load at 2 inches. And then we shot three groups at the maximum load of 39 grains. This one is 1.25 inches, and the third shot was right off the paper, right about here. So 1.25 inches on that one. And then these are the groups we shot today. This one, and this is after I moved for the second time. I moved the point of impact down, and we're at 1.6 inches. And then this one here is at 1.85 inches. And so let me just say this. I am, wow, boy, did we ever lose light. I am still amazed. I am still amazed at the performance of this 1959 Marlin Model 336 35 Remington. And I'm really sold on the 35 Remington. Not that the 3030, which is probably its nearest competitor, is the 3030 is a great gun, and we're going to break one out here in just a minute when we shoot that ballistics gel. But anyway, I am really pleased here with our episode 1 of cast performance, or cast bullet performance in the Marlin Microgroove barrel. Okay, and what's significant about this target? The average velocity here on this load was 1,936 feet per second. And so what I did is, I don't want to shoot the ballistics gel at point blank with maximum velocity in the either in the 30-30 or in the 35 Remington. And so I made up some additional hand loads here using that load we just looked at. Okay, cast performance 180 grain bullet, and this is a downloaded bullet to equal basically the 50-yard velocity of that maximum load. I hope I'm not confusing. And this is a 30-30 hand load that I put together that also mimics what the 30-30 factory load would be at about 50 yards. And those two numbers between the 30-30 and the 35 Remington are pretty close to the same. And so we're going to shoot these guys at point blank, but they're actually going to be going at speeds that represent about 50-yard velocities. So let me get that set up, and we'll do some shooting. And I hope we all smile after this one, because I've been waiting a long time, and I know you guys have too. So let me get started. All right, here we are down at the pond. I've got the ballistics gel set up right there. We're going to put 2 rounds through it. And the first one is going to be from this vintage Winchester Model 94. And I've tried to find out when it was made. Family history says around 1963, maybe 1964. But everything I can find online says it was made in 1971. Maybe one of you guys out there can tell us when this Winchester Model 1894 was made. Belongs to my cousin. Okay, I think I've got everything turned on. Here we go. Well, I was about to make a critical mistake in shooting the second bullet before I showed you the performance of the first one. But there's our entrance hole. There's our wound channel. Exited right here. And of course it blew up those 2 water jugs down there. And the bullet is laying right down there in between those 2 water jugs. Okay, here we go with the 35 Remington cast bullet, 180 grains. Let's see how it compares to the 170 grain nozzler partition. And both of these rounds are traveling around 1900 feet per second. Okay, empty jug. Another jug. This one exit right there. Entrance hole right here. This is the old entrance hole for the 30-30. All right, I'm going to try to get this guy out without a pocket knife. Do you believe I came down here without a pocket knife? There it is. Okay, so we got very similar penetration, and that's what the two bullets look like. And so the cast performance shed a little bit of weight and certainly deformed. But I got to say, and you guys have seen the slow motion footage, and I haven't. And so I'll let you guys comment, tell me in the comments which one you think had the most impact, explosive impact, on the ballistics gel. But man, this was a lot of fun, and they actually, both bullets penetrated a little bit farther than I thought. And so I probably could have done well to have both of my blocks of ballistics gel out here, but we'll do that next time. And I just want to say thanks. I'm sure I've left some stuff out. This was a lot of information here in a short video, but I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.